Our music video is in the indie genre with a narrative style. Other music videos in this genre and style are When the Sun Goes Down by Arctic Monkeys and The Scientist by Coldplay. We have used and sometimes subverted typical conventions of narrative music videos to ensure that our audience feel engaged with the storyline. In our video, we have considered Steve Neal's concept of repetition and difference, meaning the audience will have certain expectations of a music video, so we need to use our genre's key conventions to create meaning for the audience so they enjoy it, hence repetition. However, for our audience to stay interested, we had to make sure that our video is unique as well, so we use slow motion as a difference. One of these typical conventions, which would be considered a repetition, is an establishing shot, as typically narrative videos will use these in order to set the scene for their audience. A good example is Coldplay's Adventure of a Lifetime. In our video, the establishing shot forms the context of the scene by showing the relationship between its important figures and objects. In our case, it is clear to see the main concepts of the video as homelessness and people, as people walk past a homeless man sitting on the floor. We put our video in black and white because it is a typical convention used in more serious videos or in indie videos such as 102 by the 1975s, and also so that the audience's focus is on the protagonist rather than any other distracting colours. Black and white used in Drake's Non-Stop video implies class, whereas in Ghost's version of our song it is grittier, so by using black and white we have juxtaposed connotations of class and grittiness, and therefore created meaning for the audience by making the shots of the artist seem classy and have managed to make the protagonist shots seem raw. Following Strauss's theory of binary oppositions, which identifies related subjects or concepts that are opposite in meaning, the use of black and white deliberately juxtaposed the two females in the video, emphasizing the difference in their lives and their wealth, highlighting the social issues of homelessness in today's society. Black and white also allows the lighting and composition to become more important and emphasizes emotion to the audience. The final reason we put in black and white on the video was due to our survey data that we collected a few weeks prior to the filming, suggesting that 52% of people asked would prefer a sad song to be illustrated in black and white. Camera shots in our video were carefully planned out. We used close-ups so the audience got a real feel and emotional connection with our artist and Alex. Close-up shots allow for a personal connection as the viewer is looking into our protagonist's eyes. This is shown in Radiohead's No Surprises. This fits with the uses and gratification theory that concludes one of the 5 goals for media use is that audiences want to identify with characters in the media they consume. Additionally, we used high-angle shots of Alex while showing her sleeping on the streets to present her as vulnerable. The camera shots were chosen to maximize the audience's engagement in the video by creating an empathetic meaning to increase the possibility of them either donating to New Hope or purchasing our song. The editing convention of music videos that we used is intercutting, which meant we were able to alternate contrasting scenes. For us, this was shots of the artist singing intercut with general homelessness and a narrative focusing on Alex. Although these 3 narratives never cross over, we still feel intercutting was effective, as when considering the artist's shots and the homelessness shots, it allows our audience to witness 2 opposite social groups, making the difference more significant. Our artist doesn't interact with the storyline to prevent the risk of the artist being perceived as patronising, as it could disturb the narrative. This approach is consistent with the convention used in indie and narrative videos, largely so that the audience can focus on the artist. Stormzy also uses this convention in his video for Blinded by Your Grace, and it also conveys authenticity to the narrative. We included intercuts of the artist to not just focus on the narrative, but also, as it is a typical convention, to include lip syncing in music videos, and we didn't want the audience to get completely distracted by a narrative. We wanted to create meaning for the audience so that they felt empathy and connection to the lyrics. Listening to the lyrics of the song People Help the People would hopefully encourage the audience to help others from less fortunate social groups. We decided to subvert using the typical indie convention of jump cuts in our video, such as in the Killers song Mr. Brightside. Instead, we have also incorporated slow motion and slower cuts to create a still photographic feel so our audience have time to take in the concept and different aspects within the shot, and also because our song is a slow piece of music. We have challenged social stereotypes by presenting our homeless protagonist as a young female, in contrast to most media representations of homeless people being older males. According to research by Shelter, in 2018 there were 320,000 people homeless in the UK. 75% of whom were male, meaning male homelessness is a bigger problem, but this doesn't mean female homelessness isn't. These stats show that in 2018 there were 48,000 homeless females in the UK. That is still 48,000 homeless, no matter what gender, and therefore we felt that this issue needed to be addressed, as in most videos that we watched, the person depicted as homeless is always male. Another reason for doing this was because our artist is female, and whilst female artists do have an appeal to a male audience, as Mulvey defined in the male gaze theory, we have deliberately not sexualized our artist so she doesn't fit in with the male gaze stereotypes, and therefore we think her greatest appeal will be to younger females. This meant that we had to try and relate our protagonist to our audience as much as possible, once again following the uses and gratifications theory, in hopes of getting as big of a chance as possible to receive a donation from our audience. We also felt that of all New Hope's case studies, Alex's was the most relatable, so by challenging gender stereotypes, we have given this group of people, homeless females, a platform and therefore more help and awareness from the public. One of the things that has purposefully been left unclear is what social group the protagonist is from. This is to ensure we didn't alienate any of the target audience. Another way we have challenged conventions is by linking our music video to a charity. Although there is a subgenre of charity songs, one of the most recent being the NHS Voices with A Little Help from My Friends and A Bridge Over Troubled Water, the majority of music videos are not for charitable purposes. This was partly because we wanted to have a unique aspect to our video, as it would give it more publicity, but also picking up on the whole theme of the song People Help the People, we wanted to help others rather than just our artist. Additionally, this charity is very close to our hearts, and therefore we thought, why not include the charity in our video if we are intending to raise awareness of the social issue of homeless anyway. Compared to other music videos, our use of branding had to follow existing guidelines in order to be recognisable to audiences already familiar with New Hope. It has meant that we have two different purposes of our text and to some extent two different target audiences, symbiotically raising awareness for a charity as well as creating a music video to promote streaming and selling our song. Through the use of our website, we were able to individualize the artist and provide a sense of a personal connection between the artist and the audience. We have used the Snell Roundhand font for the artist's name on the homepage. This font has a feminine quality and appears handwritten, which will appeal to our target audience of younger females. Examples of websites that have done similar are Britney Spears's, Dua Lipa's, Christina Perri's, Kate Nash's, and Zara Larsson's. By using an About page on our website, we will allow the target audience to get to know the artist presenting and reinforcing her brand with styling used in terms of clothing, hairstyle, and choice of photos. We have included a similar About feature in our Digipack, once again to provide a personal connection through the sales of CDs. The digital revolution means there is a decrease in CD purchases, so we have made the album available to download on the website. We understand that our target audience may not look at both the artist's website and their digipack, which is why we have used an About feature in both. The gallery gives the audience a deeper insight into the artist and her life, allowing them to see her in different environments. The merchandise which we have featured on our store has been specifically designed to create a further platform for the artist's branding and publicity, using her signature and also displaying the European and American tour dates. We have incorporated a signature on some of the merchandise for various reasons. Firstly, it is an artistic tradition. Secondly, we hope to create a personalised connection with the artist. And lastly, because audiences covet artists' autographs as they create a personal relationship, again, a tenet of the uses and gratifications theory. We addressed our other aim to raise money for the homeless by including a donation link at the bottom of our store page. We were cautious not to give the impression of the artist exploiting the charity for her own publicity, so we only included the branding for the charity where relevant. Although New Hope is not our own brand, in order to ensure the brand cohesion, we have used aspects of their branding such as their logo in our video. This confirms that the video is for a legitimate charity. This has been done by using their logo towards the end of our video. Our video is all in black and white with the exception of the New Hope logo, which we have maintained in blue and white in order to stay true to the charity. It is important that our audience understand that although there is a synergy, we are also separate brands. Finally, the blue in their logo has connotations of liberation and stability, which works well with our message. We had two aims for this video. Firstly, to raise awareness of prevalent societal issues such as homelessness and alcohol abuse, and also to promote our song. We want our video to connect with as large an audience as possible. There are three obvious audiences. 1, the artists. 2, those with family members similar age to the protagonist. And 3, those with a connection to the charity. Using the idea of two-step flow, we intend that these audiences will recommend and share the video through social media. By using the survey mentioned in my blog, we hope to extend the target audience. To extend the appeal, we have included multiple locations, animals, and children in our video. We have done this because generally audiences have a connection with what is familiar to them. Again, exploiting the uses and gratifications theory of audiences consuming media when they identify with the situation. Using locations such as Paris, London, Edinburgh, St Albans and Christchurch in Dorset, we are hoping to appeal to not only people that live in these locations and see homelessness on their streets, but also people who have visited them and are familiar with the areas. From our survey question, would you prefer the video to be based in one location or multiple, less than 5% of the survey population have a preference for the video to be in one location. In our video, we have also used images of homeless people with dogs and cats to appeal to animal lovers. Similarly, there are a number of images of children around homeless people, and we hope that parents of young children will realise how close this issue is to their lives. We hope to capture all audiences by engaging them in a clear emotional storyline. We tried to create a clear relationship between the artist and her audience. In doing so, we closely focused the uses and gratification theory. This theory helps producers to understand why and how audiences actively seek out specific media to satisfy their specific needs. The theory suggests 4 main reasons for audience involvement: news, personal identity, personal relationship, and escapism. We were able to incorporate news by increasing awareness for people that are homeless, most specifically through our use of statistics on cardboard. For personal identity, it is important that the audience can in some way relate to what they are viewing. For our video, some of our audience may have experienced extreme poverty, but more were likely to identify with seeing poverty. To develop a personal relationship with the audience, the artist's presentation of character was important in our video. We have not used costumes or elaborate hair and makeup, but we have decided to present the artist in everyday clothing, hoping that the audience will relate to her. This aligns with the survey data. Almost 60% would prefer to see the artist in everyday clothing for a sad song. The artist's decision to produce a charity video will create a sense of admiration towards her and presents her in a positive light. Finally, we were able to create escapism for our audience through the use of cinematography. The classically framed geometrical shots will engage the audience with the music video and bring escapism. As the producers and directors of our video, we were aware that the audience may enjoy watching other music videos as well, and so we needed to incorporate, as mentioned in our answer to question 1, Steve Neal's idea of repetition and difference. Our music video tells a true story, and we hope to engage with the audience by presenting a real issue to increase the feeling of sympathy towards people that are homeless. This technique had been used extensively in very successful charity videos such as Comic Relief and Children in Need. Through our presentation of the artist, we aimed for the target audience to support the charity and to raise awareness, hoping that they would buy into streams of the artist as well. While considering that 1 in 52 people are homeless in the UK, we felt it was important to remember that these people have families, and this isn't just 1 in 52 people affected, it is these people's families, and so this means that this audience will be more prone to donating. Also, we hoped that by using a young female, we would achieve more of an emotional response from our audience, as stereotypically, women and teenagers are viewed as more vulnerable, and so we hope that this will cause any parents watching to donate. We have also portrayed Alex as a completely normal girl, as she is seen wearing a clearly branded North Face coat, implying that she was in a normal family home and therefore increasing the audience's empathy for her, through the realization that this can happen to anyone. Our media product will be distributed through various platforms, so that it is as accessible to our audience as possible. However, using our survey data, we gathered that almost 60% of people watch music videos via YouTube, and so the music video will be put on YouTube as it is popular, evident in the fact that 30 million people use YouTube every day. It has positive features for our music video, such as recommended videos and YouTube mixes, which is likely to put our video on a further platform and get more views. The artist platform will be distributed through streaming websites online such as SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify, and possibly even New Hope's website or social media too.